In Pit Lane brought to you by Online Invent, websites, digital marketing and custom software. And with thanks to these great community supporters. Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, coming to you from the studios of RMITV Student Television here in the heart of Grand Prix City, Melbourne. Well, what an absolute packed show we've got tonight. Hey, listen, if you like your bands big and your singers sassy, tonight on the program we have Miss Friby and the Femmes will be joining us a little bit later on the program. That's why I'm in party mode, you see.
You're Mr. Brightside
I am.
tonight.
I'm Mr. Brightside tonight. Speaking of Mr. Brightside, here is the one and only, my co-host, Mr. Craig, Doc Letigo. Doc, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Brett. I feel very underwhelming tonight, but yeah, I didn't get that email as usual. But anyway, that's probably those hackers again as usual. Thanks for having us. What a massive show we've got tonight. Can't wait to talk to our guests for the next 6 or 7 hours.
I would love to say that it's been a quiet week in motorsport, and that's why we have no news. But look, to be brutally honest, if we spent the time to go through the CV of our guest tonight, then tonight's show would be longer than Lord of the Rings, albeit a damn sight more interesting. After returning to Australia from Europe, where she was an integral part of this year's Audi victory in the Dakar Rally, through to her time with the World Endurance Championship, with BMW Motorsport, Formula E and many major international race series, including the World Endurance Championship, she's now returned to Australia and she's at Motorsport Australia in the new position of Sporting and Technical Director. Let's find out why she's back, what her plans are, and chat to her about her impressive history in the sport. Lisa Crampton, welcome to In Pit Lane.
Thank you, and I'm very glad to be here, and thanks for inviting me along.
Let's work our way backwards. I mean, because like at the moment, I mean, there's been so many things over so many years. You've crammed in an incredible amount of work over the years. But let's talk about, first of all, why you're back now in your new role with Motorsport Australia. What exactly does the new position entail?
So the new position is a bit of a culmination of a few roles that were there in the past as Sporting and Technical Director. It encompasses all of our sporting and technical, obviously. It encompasses risk and safety. It encompasses all of our officials and volunteers, which is a huge part. That's basically what Motorsport Australia is. And it also goes all the way down through to our events, our off-road, our rallies, our circuit racing, our operations side of things.
How much of that now, I mean, you mentioned the safety, and we've spoken quite a few times on the program about the challenges, particularly involving insurance. I mean, how much of your job now is effectively to convince insurance companies that what we're doing is, what is inherently a dangerous sport is in fact as safe as it could possibly be?
I would almost look at it as the other way around. So if our officials, who are basically all of our people on the ground delivering our events, are trained to the top standard, then our events should be as safe as we can make them. That means safe from a sporting perspective, the way the regulations are written, the way any kind of part of the event is set up. All those standards are at the top they can be, which means that from an insurance perspective, we take as much risk out of it as we can. And that comes from training all those officials as best as we can and delivering the Motorsport Australia standards that we've always been known for.
I don't mean this derogatively, but with your wealth of experience worldwide and coming back recently this year to Australia, what gap is there between, say, the top levels and where we need to be here in Australia for that to be delivered from you and down the tiers?
I think we've got some of the best officials in the world here in Australia. I think what needs to be done is communicating more about all those resources we have to get the second and third tiers down up to that top level, to have progression, to have succession plans, to have not just the top officials we have now, but we've got to look for who's going to be there in 5 years, who's going to be there in 10 years, have we got enough in all the different areas of Australia, in all the different disciplines where they should be. So not just circuit racing and Formula One and the shiny things, but all the way down to the country level.
Well, you mentioned that because that's something else that we've been talking about a lot on the program. I mean, we've had people from the flag marshals and all the rest of it in on the program, and they've all said the same thing. I mean, the difficulty of getting the numbers, and there are just so many race meetings happening in so many parts of Australia, often in the same state on the same weekend. And a lot of the officials are just saying, you know, we can't be in two places at once. We are just, you know, we'd love the occasional week off because they're not getting paid for this. I mean, you know, so how do you manage to sort of, you know, control that, and how do we make it more attractive for officials to actually be a part of all of this, you know, when it's not, you know, something like the Grand Prix or supercars?
Well, we're definitely looking into a few things on the recruitment side, but also on the officiating side, to thank all those people who go out and do those ones which are maybe not as special or exciting. The people who are in charge of all the officials lists that go to the Grand Prix also look and see, have these people gone out and done other things for Motorsport Australia before they get given a Guernsey to go to Formula One. So there is a progression there, and also to bring back the Senior Officials Development Program, which shows that these people also may have a pathway to get back up into some really specialist roles in future by training. So it's not just that they get stuck maybe only doing flagging, maybe they want to become any other part of the officials program we have, and it's showing them that that pathway is back, that we're investing in it. We're getting all these top officials that we have doing mentor programs, training down, and that getting all the way through recruitment programs, bringing a friend day, which I used to have at Little Athletics, you know. And if we can get some of those people who come down and are passionate about motorsport to bring a couple of friends and open the doors to them, and we can hopefully bring a few more into the system.
Well, we'll go half a step back. Australia used to be a holiday for you for 2 weeks, but we're all rapt to have you home and your wealth of experience and your knowledge, etc. Where was the last 12 months? It was 2024 Dakar Rally, if I could touch on. And can you tell us a little about how much time you spent with that and over the years, and how much fun it was earlier this year with the Audi team?
I think probably since about 2020, I kind of split my time. So half of the year was circuit racing and the other half of the year was off-road racing. So I would spend half of my year in a BMW uniform or an FIA uniform at a racetrack at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring or Le Mans or Spa. And then I would go and put some trainers on and black and go to the desert in Morocco or Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, South America. And it's a completely different, it's a big change. The logistics alone of running a team on the Dakar starts in August and the race is in January. You're trying to figure out where people are sitting in a car to go from A to B every day. Where are they sleeping? Where can they put their bag? Where can they put... It's a big project, and that would start as soon as the season of 24 hours would finish. I would switch uniforms and I would go into rally mode, and in this last 12 months before I came back to Australia, it was literally BMW uniform and then an Audi uniform, which some people didn't quite understand.
Don't forget your sunscreen.
Yeah, that's it. It sounds like a bit like producing a program like this on 31, where I get wind-ups before we finish with you. But we're going to come back in just a moment with more with Lisa Crampton, and we're going to have some live music from our special guests, Miss Friby and the Femmes. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Looking for a way to boost your... That's a sneak.
Well, I was going to say, how about that?
That's got people at home.
No one's going to listen to you now.
I'd like to tell you about our friends at Online Invent who are supporting us. And so if you need a professional and reliable partner to help you with web design, SEO, online marketing and custom software needs, then look no further than our good friends at Online Invent. They're the people who keep this program on the air for the moment. Online Invent is a Melbourne-based team of creative web developers, SEO specialists, online marketers and software engineers who can help you achieve your online goals. Whether you need a new website or a redesign of an existing one, then talk to our friends Roy at Online Invent. They can deliver it for you. Now remember, Roy's a huge motorsport fan and he's talking your language as well. So if you need any information, go to onlineinvent.com.au, and once again, thank you to Online Invent reinvent for their support of In Pit Lane and everyone here at RMITV and Channel 31. Now it's that time.
Take your sunglasses off because that shirt's bright, Mr. Brightside tonight.
There you go. Now we are going to jump straight in because as you had a bit of a sneak preview of them getting ready just a moment ago, and we're not going to let you. We're not going to let you wait any longer. Tonight's band, Miss Friby and the Femmes. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram at Miss Friby and the Femmes, and they're going to be in November at the on the 2nd of November at the Devil's Ball with Diane Blacklock at the Brunswick Ballroom. But right now, this is Miss Friby and the Femmes and Life on Your Lips.
I'm half crazy, thinking maybe you'd come around and change your mind. But I've seen the mercy in your weary eyes, and I know the story behind those lies. And if you could, sure you would take your place by my side. I'd be yours, you would be mine. I'd be yours and you would be mine. Give up and go home. You can stay here tonight, don't mind all the noises of the city, the people moving round. Don't you see you and your company as I waited for your kiss, anticipated the life on your lips. I felt a crash, a big bang, and right from the start, I know you're gonna break my heart. Big love, ooh, big love, big love won't bring me down. Hold up, don't hold on. I ain't a coward, but I know better than to hold on. Better than to hold on. To hold on. Holding on hope beckons me to your bed and calms the voices inside my head and plays me a song with the notes of your breath. With the notes of your breath. As I waited for your kiss, anticipated the life on your lips. I felt a crash, a big bang, and right from the start, I know you're gonna break my heart. Big love, big love. Oh, big love. She said the big love won't bring me down. I'm keeping one foot on the ground, 'cause yeah, you know that I'm all cried out. You won't be waiting for me. Oh, no. You're gonna, big love, big love. Oh, big love. She said the big love won't bring me down. I'm keeping one foot on the ground, 'cause yeah, you know that I'm all cried out.
Miss Friby and the Femmes. They will be joining us a little bit. Thank you for that fantastic
That's our first big band experience for the year this year. Absolutely.
Well, for this season anyway, yeah.
Sorry, for this season, I mean for the second half of the year, and they've knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, that's setting a high bar. They will be. The good news is you're watching us on Facebook, on In Pit Lane's YouTube channel right now. It's a bonus track for you. They will be back later on in the program to take us out.
That could be their A grade.
That was sensational. Thank you very much for that, guys. We really do appreciate it. We're going to take a break right now on In Pit Lane for just 1 second, and when we come back, we'll be rejoined by our special guest for tonight, Lisa Crampton. Don't go away. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Are you two girls sisters on drum? Yeah.
I'm their auntie.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Our special guest for tonight from Motorsport Australia is Lisa Crampton. And Lisa, we talked about sort of your experience. We touched briefly on your work with the Dakar Rally, but it's been quite a journey. Let's start with sort of some of the things that some of the bigger things that you've done. I mean, the World Endurance Championship for a start. We love that. What was your role with the WEC?
So that started in 2012 at the second race of the championship. Eduardo Freitas had come back from Sebring and discussed with me at Monza, do I want to come in and be his assistant in race control? And I started that in the deep end, didn't really speak much French. First race was in Spa, and the second race was at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And if anyone has ever learnt to count in French, having to hear all the marshal calls and car numbers and everything else in French, I had to very quickly write that all down phonetically.
2012, I was at Le Mans.
Yeah, I can do it now.
Year 7 should have just come flood back to you.
Oh, I did German, Japanese in year 7, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I did lots of languages at school too. I mean, I can barely say, I can barely say hello in French, let alone anything else.
You crash coursed anyway, and you got through it all well. And how many years did you keep doing it for?
6.5.
I knew it was a fair time. Yes, you must have enjoyed, and they must have thrived on your experience.
Looking at it now, I mean, in terms of what's happening with the World Endurance Championship right now, we've said we are now in the golden era of sports car racing, aren't we? With all of so do you miss that? Do you see all the new companies coming on board? Hyundai are about to enter. We've got Aston Martin around the corner. Everybody who's there now, Cadillac and all the rest of them. Do you sit there and go, oh, gee, I wouldn't mind staying in that?
I still have some friends in there that I'm in contact with, and I still watch it, obviously. And BMW is involved. I was at Le Mans last year. So they've done an incredible job, the regulations, the ACO, all the partners, IMSA, the FIA, to build something where all the manufacturers want to get involved. And like any company, you have to go through change. You've got to change things. And then the interest comes back, and it's just incredible. Not just sports car racing, I think GTs as well, GT3s with what SRO have done, even Formula One on the back of what they've done with Drive to Survive. Even you see manufacturers coming into the Dakar now. So I think everyone's seeing, again, the opportunities, and if the barriers to entry come
It
down,
seems so
they'll
strange
come
when
in.
you consider the current environment we're in, both not just the sort of financial environment, but also with all the talk of, like environmental issues and all the rest of it. And yet we've got this sudden influx of manufacturers who, after years of sort of indifference, are suddenly saying, hey, me too, can I be in this?
Why do they want the exposure all of a sudden? Is it because one has set the dominoes rolling and everyone else wants to follow, and we can't be not in it if they're not?
I think it's many things. It's the cost of doing it. It's the return they get if it's, depending on where it's broadcast. It's the markets they go to. If they're a market where they want to try and recapture market share, or they have a competitor going in there. If it depends where the TV broadcast is sold to, or the online broadcast, how difficult and expensive the technical regulations will come, how long they last for. But there is a lot of sustainability in it as well. There's sustainable fuels, there's new tyre regulations, there's limited expenses that you use for freight, et cetera, to get to the boring parts. But there is even our Mini ran the Dakar the last 2 years on HVO. Now, the people in motorsport know HVO. It's a diesel replacement, and it's even better than running in some electric.
I hate to use a layman's term, but is it more the merrier, so therefore the cost is shared a bit more, and therefore with the exposure, and therefore everyone's involvement makes it easier to implement?
It depends. If everyone does a buy into a broadcast, of course, it gets cheaper. The more people you can split it across, the more entry fees the series who's running it becomes, the more they can spend on the output.
More sponsorship on the prize money, etc.
Exactly.
We've talked about sort of, like the summer stuff, but as I said, going back, how did you get involved in it all? I mean, because I understand like your first, sort of academic was involved in medicine.
That's right. I think he's watching out there. Hi, Dad. My father raced Formula Ford and Formula Holden. And I just wandered down one weekend, and then like anybody who gets involved, I was involved in sport, in other sports, netball, gymnastics, athletics. Motorsport, I think the fumes get you, and you get involved in it, you get to learn the people. I grew up with the Will Davidsons of the world and a whole group of us, Steve Johnson. And you share that emotion of winning, and you see not just the driver, but everybody else getting involved. And you just become a part of it. And that was in the 90s. I just went on weekends for fun, and then eventually I made a career out of it and got my first job in Dubai at the racetrack getting paid to do motorsport. So that was quite a nice turn.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like. Getting paid to do motorsport. We'd love to do that, wouldn't we, Doc?
No, I was going to say, but we invest in the community. Max Verstappen's joining us next week for a bit of a community service work. He got fined by F and Jesus. But anyway, all jokes aside, what was your dream job at that stage, and have you achieved what you wanted to by that point, or are you still craving more?
When I first started in Dubai, I left Australia and I told my parents I'd be back in 12 months, and 18 years later I returned. And every time a new opportunity arose...
I hope they didn't have the tea while waiting.
I was going to say, there's a few birthday parties missed along the way there too.
Thankfully, the post works still.
Oh, yeah.
If you'd asked me 12 months before each of the changes that I've gone in my career, if I was going to go and do that, I would have told you no. So it's very much the network you work with and the opportunities that arise, and gut feeling. Is it the right feeling to do that now? Is it the right feeling to come home after so long, see family, see friends, and be involved in an organisation where there's a big change, and to re-strategise and try and invest back into all the people all the way down to club level. That felt like the right move to make. I'd been up there in top-line motorsport for a long time, and the other option was perhaps to go over to Formula One, which there was a door open there, but then you have to sacrifice a lot of your life. And at that point, I made the decision, I think it's time to come home and be involved.
Is it for a break, or are you still that fire burns inside that you may one day, if at the right place at the right time?
Never say never. Yeah. Never say never. So if I land back in Europe in 10 years' time, the door's not closed there.
No.
So, but I'm really enjoying being back home in Melbourne. Really enjoying good coffee everywhere.
So in terms of your current job, because we're running right out of time, and we will come back briefly in the third segment to wrap up. But what is your goal? I mean, in your current job, I mean, what would you like to see in, say, a year's time, in 5 years' time? What is it that you'd like to bring to the job?
Hopefully, I think some stability for our team. We're going through a lot of changes at the moment, even as I've arrived. Normally you would arrive in a job and learn and then lead. I've arrived and there's so much change going on and the whole team's going through a re-strategy. I think in a year's time it would be good to have a nice stable team where we've got all of our goals in front of us. We've got some great new people coming on board. Bruce Asprey's coming this month as well to do state racing level stuff. We've got some really great people in charge of officials and events, and so it's really building that concrete back together with that team and then bringing back Motorsport Australia to being that world-renowned ASN that we've been known for in the past.
Stay with us a moment. We're going to take another break, but when we come back, we'll just wrap up with our special guest tonight, Lisa Crampton. Also, we're going to have some music from our special guests, Miss Friby and the Femmes. You're watching In Pit Lane. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Through that speaker on the back wall up on top there.
And yes, and Doc's coming through the speaker on the front there now at the moment. Yes. By the way, we said thank you to our friends at Online Event. We also must say a huge thank you to our friends who are our Patreon supporters as well. As we keep saying every week, this whole thing that you see together every week is put together with no budget, with no support. We don't get government funding. We don't get grants from anybody. It's basically done with the amount of the
flying by the seat of our pants in a
you've got pants. Okay, no worries. Don't look below the desk. That's for sure in my case.
I've just been hot over here.
Yeah, just block Lisa.
There's women on the set tonight. Keep it clean.
But we must say thank you to our Patreon supporters. It really does make it. Tonight's pizza was brought to us by our Patreon supporters tonight. So thank you to to all of them. If you'd like to help us out, patreon.com/ The Pit Crew. The Pit Crew. Check us out, and from as little as $4 a week, you'd really help us out. So we can bring you not only guests like Lisa, but also bands like our band tonight, who we're going to hear from in a second. Pete, if we could find out how long we've got for our third segment to wrap up with Lisa, and throw to Miss Friby and her Femmes to take us out.
Oh, plenty
4 minutes
of time.
for the, yep, okay, 4 minutes for the interview and to wrap up.
Does it include the time?
That includes the intro?
That includes intro to the song. Yep.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, no worries. So we've got 4 minutes, people, and then you'll be hearing once again from Miss Friby and the Femmes. Okay, Pete, fire us up.
How did Calder go on the weekend? You were there?
Calder was good. Calder was good fun. Drag racing out at Calder, yep. And there's circuit racing this weekend with the Victorian Motor Racing Championship.
Girls with us last week. Yep.
Something's under control. It'll be the only time in history.
I was going to say it all when the cameras started rolling, it was under control.
I get worried when they say it's under control. Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Our special guest this week is Lisa Crampton from Motorsport Australia. And Lisa, we spoke about the World Endurance Championship before. You worked with the very colourful, the man who's become a bit of a cult hero in the world of endurance racing, Eduardo Freitas. He's actually our voiceover man for our podcast, Full Course Yellow, which you can watch live every Thursday night at 8:30 on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. He doesn't know, incidentally, so please don't tell him. But he is our voiceover person. But he's very well respected, isn't he? What's he like to work with?
He's very thorough, he's very consistent, and I think that's what you look up to in a race director. I learned a lot from him He knew the regulations inside and out. He was one of the first ones to bring in the full course yellow after the incidents that happened in Formula One. And we did a lot of work in, again, bringing safety aspects into the 24-hour Le Mans. So he was just incredible to learn with. We're still in touch. And he definitely had that unique voice on him that everybody loved to hear.
Quick, monumental question. Some of those highlight moments of that career that spanned obviously well over a decade now, whether it's overlooking a desert or having some friendships with some fantastic people you've met. Just give us a couple of those moments that have been highlights of your life in so far and overseas to do with motorsport.
I think this year's Dakar win, if people had asked us a few months beforehand if we were going to win the Dakar, we all wanted to win the Dakar.
Accent there. I could hear the Dakar accent.
We all wanted to win the Dakar, but we had some extreme difficulties last year. Winning with that electric car from the Audi was one of the hardest things we've ever done. And I've seen people not sleep for days on end. And winning this year's Dakar, seeing the emotions of the people involved in it, being a part of it, I think that's why we have those sleepless nights. That's why we work so hard. That's why we do the things we don't enjoy as part of the project. And it was really a worthwhile effort. And I think everybody was relieved to see that all the hard work they put in. And so I think that final moment where we saw the finish line this year was really one of the most special ones.
As they say, if it was easy, everyone would do it and it wouldn't be anywhere near as satisfying. Lisa, welcome back to Australia. Thank you for joining us tonight in Pit Lane. There's so much we could talk about. Hope we will get you back some other time in the future. But for now, Lisa Crampton, thanks for joining us in Pit Lane.
Thanks, everybody.
And thank you to you for joining us at home. Now our band tonight, what a band we've got. Miss Friby and the Femmes. They're playing on November the 2nd at the Devil's Ball with Diane Blacklock at the Brunswick Ballroom. All the details can be found on their Facebook and Instagram pages, Miss Friby and the Femmes. But right now, this is, to take us out tonight, this is Miss Friby and the Femmes and Didn't Know You Were Lonely. Good night, everyone.
Didn't know you were lonely. You could have come out, could have told me. What's it got to do about you leaving? She couldn't come through, now you're gone, yeah. I'm so strung out, I wanna call you, lay all my doubts down before you, get down on my knees, honey, I love you, begging you, please, I adore you. I'm so strung out, I need some good advice.
Need some good advice. Need some good advice.
I'm tired of in the night, I'm fine.
It'll be alright with some good advice.
Each time that I can see the light,
I can see the light. I can see the light.
if I could give you anything, you know that I would. Ha! I gave you the world. If I had all, you were lonely. You could have come out and told me what's got to do about you leaving. Yeah, she couldn't come through. Now you're gone, yeah. I'm so strung out, I wanna call you. Yeah, lay all my doubts down before you, get down on my knees. I love you. Oh, yeah, please, I adore you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I need some good advice. I need some good advice. It'll be alright with some good advice. Need some good advice. I need some good advice. It'll be alright.